This isn't gonna work well.
It's fun.
If you're thinking about getting into model railroading or you're already an addict, boy, do we have a project for you. In this episode, we bring the hammer down, starting right now. Hey, thank you for joining me today on It's My Railroad, the how-to show for regular people. On this show, we celebrate regular people building their model railroads. It is a ton of fun. It is a great community to be a part of. So if you're into that sort of thing, why not just subscribe, and then don't forget to push that little bell icon so you can catch future videos. All right, rail fans, let's just get right into this, shall we? You may be wondering what this is for, and I'm going to show you in just a minute. But I am standing in the middle of a nearly completed hobby room. The racking is gone. You saw that last episode. The lighting is up on the ceiling. You saw that last episode. It's really taken some shape. Today what I want to show you is how I framed up this wall behind me and some of the thinking that went into doing that. And then towards the end of the episode, I'm going to bring in Cindy Brown, the First Lady Model Railroading, to help me figure out how high to make some of these decks. And here's why. She's like this tall, and if she can't see what's happening on the upper deck, she's gonna feel gypped, and it's not gonna work out so good for the regular guys. So we need to consult her on getting dimensions, and we're gonna get to that. But to start with, let's just get to work on framing these walls right now. Good morning, rail fans. It is December 27th, and it's a beautiful day outside, even though it's like in the 40 degrees out there. I'm not really used to that in California. Anyway, hey, yesterday we had a great day getting the lighting up and getting the racking installed, really starting to get moving here, get some momentum going, building out the hobby room. Today what I want to try to get done is to build the demising walls that go in here, or at least get started on them. We'll see how far we can go. But one of the things that is kind of obstructing that from happening is this mechanism right here that connects the garage door opener to the garage. I'm gonna put a wall in here that's basically 7 feet tall, and that 7 foot mark is like right here, basically, which means when this opens, it's gonna nail the top of the wall. And in my opinion, this is just unnecessary. This little piece hanging off, I don't even know why it's there. Probably because it needs to be adjustable. Anyway, I'm gonna get my Sawzall out with a metal blade on it and just lop that off to keep that right above 7 feet, and then we'll get started on putting the wall in right here. So let me grab my Sawzall and make that happen. And just like that, we've already started cutting parts away of the new house. Anyway, I'm gonna get this garage door up, and we'll start laying out this first wall. Just before we get started, something to keep in mind. I still have all this crap all over the place in the hobby room because there's no place to put it until I build the shelf to stick it up on. Now, the thing is, I can't build the shelf until I build the wall, and so the stuff's gonna be on the floor in the way while we build the wall. Anyway, we're gonna work around it. It's what a regular guy does. So what I've got going on over here is I've got about 2 feet of bench work coming off of a stud right here. That's the width of this bench work. About a 5 foot space in between, and then 2 more feet of bench work, plus something to nail the corner to, which is about 3 inches, 3.5 inches on the end. So that's what I'm gonna build here, and it's gonna be 7 feet tall. It's not exactly a wall, it's more like the back support for the layout. But we're calling it a demising wall because that's how we roll. Something that's gonna be a miniature challenge to get started, but it's not really a big deal, is down here on the floor, the wall sits back off the footing a little bit, leaving a gap there. Well, I want this wall tight to the other wall. So what I'll probably do is put a cleat on there, basically a 2x4 nailed to that, and then we're gonna build a small wall that we're gonna nail to that, and then an 8 foot wall on the end of that. That's just how I'm gonna do it. I'm sure you guys have better ways of doing it, but that's how I've designed it in my head. So I'm gonna get started by getting this first piece of lumber figured out, cut and nailed to the wall. So I'm gonna run outside, cut that piece of wood, and be right back. Well, there you go, rail fans. Our very first piece of wood is cut on our way to building this demising wall. Now, here's the thing. I went through and chipped away some of the drywall that's back here to make sure I've actually got something to nail to. And there's supposed to be a stud right here, I think, but what I'm seeing in there is like plywood or OSB. Something's back there. Either way, I think I can nail this to it, and that's what I'm gonna do. But speaking of nailing, I got the old school going here, baby. I like to drive nails with a hammer. I know people will use compressors and nail guns and I don't know, hot glue or whatever the hell it is they use. This is what I want to do, and it's a hobby, and I'm not framing a house, and I just want to feel my hammer pounding that nail into this piece of wood. So I'm gonna grab me a couple nails. I got my level right here, and let's put this on that. Boom, first nail is in. Double check the level. There we go, first piece of wood's nailed up. Now it's my plan then, that's kind of furring that out a little bit over this footing I got down here. The next one, we'll nail right to that one, and we'll build a little wall. Now here's the thing, I've got 8-foot 2x4s, right? Because my little bitch bed truck won't take 10-footers. So I've got 8-footers, and so I'm gonna build an 8-foot wall. Well, the total length of the wall needs to be 9'3". So what I thought I would do is, starting from here, build me a little wall that's 1'3", and then I'll nail the 8-foot wall to that. I think it's gonna make it easier. So let me cut out some more lumber here and frame that up, and then we'll nail that up. And there you have it. I framed up this first piece. Not really anything exciting to look at, but it overhangs a little bit right here to sit on top of that cleat I made. So should just sit like this. And I'll nail that on there. Something else I'll show you, in addition to getting splinters, and it might be a little hard to see, but right down there on the bottom, I sort of took my saw and hacked a little bit of that off because it's a little rounded down here where the footing is. And I want to get this thing up close, like this. So that right there should do it. Let's nail it in. Oh, the feeling of wood being driven by a hammer, people. And that gives you an idea. Back here is going to be hidden staging, which, as you can see, won't be accessible unless I roll this door up. But what do I care? I'm going to build the 8-foot wall now, frame it up outside, bring it in. Let's nail that together. Whew. So I built the 8-foot section out on the driveway and then sort of manhandled it in here by my own self because I have superhuman strength. Anyway, and I propped it up. I kind of got it clamped in place right now because what I wanted to do is be sure that before I nailed it all in, that this piece we cut off is going to clear it. And it does. You can see here, it just comes right up and over and nary a problem. So anyway, I feel pretty confident now that I can nail this together. What I also did, and you can't really see it, but I have a 2x4 line from the wall across that I sort of plumbed the wall up with. Ultimately, I'll put a square on there and make sure all the walls are plumbed, but I just kind of want to nail it in the right place. So let's get some nails out and hammer that sucker down. There you go, nailed down. Now I'm gonna move all this crap over here so we can build that wall and the little pony wall at the end. All right, well, there you go. I built the second wall out on the driveway and manhandled it around through the big garage and over to here because I'd already built a wall and I couldn't get the wall in here. What was I thinking? Actually, that one had to go first. Who cares? I put the level on it on the other end to make sure the two walls are level, at least this way. And then I put the square down at the bottom to be sure that it's at a right angle. And now I think I'm just gonna drive some nails into that sucker and then we'll move on to the short piece and we're almost there. Isn't that amazing? I'm amazed. All right, so I went ahead, I got the other 8-foot long piece up. I put the little extension piece on that, it's about 3 feet. And then I put the little tiny wing wall on there. And you know, so far so good. I've got some bracing in the corner. I got some bracing where the joints come together, but even still, watch this. It's a little bit on the flimsy side. And here's how we're gonna fix that. Some kind of way I'm gonna either put plywood up or hardboard up or something,
and that's gonna strengthen it this way, which is what you're experiencing right now. Plus, when we go ahead and screw the actual frame of the layout to this thing, it's gonna take the place of the fire blocks you'd normally see between here. So that's that. It's a pretty good productive 2 days. Got the racking out, got the lighting in, got the walls built. The only question now is how the heck do I get out of here? Well, good morning again, rail fans. It is now December 28th, and we've got a lot of work done so far on this little vacation that I've been taking. Hey, listen, if you hear a bunch of noise in the background, we're experiencing the most windy day I've ever experienced in my life. Oh my gosh. I went to Lowe's and bought some plywood and junk like that, and the plywood wanted to take me with it outside. I picked it up and I was blown away. It was amazing. I had to get 3 people to help me load a piece of plywood in the bed of my truck, but whatever. We're undaunted, we're continuing on. Today what I'd like to try to get done is to put up this shelf up here so I can get some of this stuff up off the floor, get it on the shelf, make some more room to work. And that brings up a debate that I've been having with myself, where to set the deck heights for this. And you know, I've asked some people and there's been varying opinions on what to do. What I think I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna start with 2 different dimensions. The first one is, Cindy Brown, the First Lady of Model Railroading, is obviously a huge supporter of what we do here. And so if I make the top deck too high, she ain't gonna see anything that's going on. She's gonna feel gypped and she may kick me out of the hobby room. Unacceptable, have to do something else. So what I thought I would do is I went up and I measured her from the ground up to about her armpit. Something like this. I figured that's a good height. Maybe I could go a little taller. We'll see how that works. That's one dimension. The second dimension is this. I have a chair here. I want to show you something. And a tape measure. If I sit down in this chair, can you see me? And I pull a tape down, 30 inches, 32 inches is like right about here. Now, I know you can't see that very well, but 32 inches would be a good height to be able to reach into the layout if I'm sitting in a chair to be able to switch some stuff and all that. Plus with some good layout design planning, keeping most of the activities up front and kind of just some through stuff in the back, I think I can pull it off. So at the top end, I got 50 inches, and at the bottom end, I got about 32 inches to the top of the deck. So here's what I think I'll do. Let me pull you in a little closer and we'll take some measurements against this wall. Just to help myself think through this, if I just put those 2 dimensions up here on the wall, maybe I can think my way through this. So the first thing is from the ground up, make a mark here at 32 inches. My pencil's dying, forgive me. Like that. That's 32 inches. Which means I should be able to roll a chair up there, roll my legs underneath it, play around with the layout. That's one dimension. Top dimension, if we're gonna stick with the Cindy Brown First Lady Model Railroading dimension, we come over here at 50 inches and say that's the top of that deck. Let's see how well that works. That gives me, well, 18 inches from the top to the top. I'm not certain I like that. No offense to Cindy Brown, the First Lady of Model Railroading, but because by the time I put the bench work and it comes down like 3 inches, I've got a 15-inch gap here. I don't think that's going to work out so good. No matter what, I might have to build her a booster seat or something. I think what I want to have, a minimum between the 2 decks, is 18 inches. From the bottom of the top deck's fascia to the top of the workbench. So 18 inches, you get 32, that's 16, 17, 18 is right at 50. So if I come up to 53, now 53, she's about, I wonder if I can cheat and get a little bit more, because that gives me an 18-inch gap from the top of the deck to the bottom of the framework right here. Is 18 inches. I was hoping to get 2 feet. What does that look like? 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 to the bottom. So the bottom, if I go 2 feet to the bottom of this bench work is right there. Which is about 6 inches above her armpit. That puts it right about at her shoulder height. And she'll be able to see what's on the layout. I don't know how exciting it's going to be for her though. But we need to have enough room here to operate, right? Let's just use my expanded dimensions for a minute. If I go another 2 feet to the bottom of the shelf above, puts the bottom of my shelf right at 80 inches and the top of the shelf at 7 feet, which is ultimately where I was planning to put it anyway. That's why that wall's 7 feet tall over there. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go grab Cindy Brown, the First Lady of Model Railroading. I'm going to bring her in here, stand her up against the wall, and we're going to sort of finalize some of this, okay? Okay, so I have Cindy Brown, First Lady of Model Railroading, here because, as I was saying, if Mama can't see the top deck, Mama going to kick me out. So here's what we need to do. Cynthia, yes. My love, will you stand over here for just a moment near the wall?
There's a lot of stuff on the floor, I'm just saying.
She ain't lying. You guys know how I roll. Anyway, so looking at this, I was contemplating putting the top of the layout right here.
Okay, I can see that well.
As an experiment, hold please. I'll be right back. I'm on my way. I'll be right back. And keep them entertained, First Lady.
The wind, you guys, it is crazy. Nobody told us that when we were moving in. There he is.
I'm back.
All right. Show and tell.
So there'd be a train on here.
Shoot. Wow.
Wow, that wind is like, you guys, you don't even know.
Wow.
We may not make it through this little video piece. You like that?
Shoot, shoot.
Does that work for you?
Yes, I like it.
Boom, we have the First Lady of Model Railroading seal of approval, and away we go. All right, well.
I stamp the approval.
She stamps it approved. All right, give me a kiss.
Love you.
I love you too. Now get out of here. This is man's work. Whoa, see?
Stuff all over the floor.
Oh, this is terrible. This is embarrassing. There you go. We have the First Lady of Model Railroading's approval for the dimensions that I really wanted anyway.
And that's about all we have time for today, but wasn't that exciting and a productive episode? Got the walls framed in, Cindy Brown, the First Lady of Model Railroading, helped us determine our deck heights, and we survived the worst windstorm in the history of the city of Eastvale, where I live right now. Boom, moving forward. Next week, you're gonna see all of this take shape and a couple other surprises, so I hope you tune in then. But thank you for being here today and watching this episode with us. And until next time, my name is Steve Brown. Rail on, my friends.